Uh, Hi guys. Um, I'm very excited to be honest. I'm very excited. This is our first podcast, and I'm happy to have you here. You're welcome if you're here already. My name is Ifeanyi.
My name is Jeremiah.
Okay, so this is our first podcast. Name of our podcast is Young in It, and by the name already, you can do some things, but as we get started, Jeremiah, can you tell us what should people expect from our podcast? This is our first podcast. What do you think people should expect? What do you think we're going to be talking about? Just tell us, give us a rundown.
Okay, so like if I already said, we're really excited to start off this first episode, especially because we have always wanted to do this and we just kept postponing it for one reason or the other. So basically, this podcast we're just here to have fun. We're here to talk about like interesting topics that are interesting to me, to Ify, and to hopefully you that is watching this show. So we're going to be focusing on issues that are bothering young people like you and I, right? Issues that young people are struggling with, are trying to find their feet in society these days. Because the kind of issues that young people were struggling with 20 years ago, the kind of issues that our fathers struggled with back in the days, and the issues that we are struggling with now, they are not the same, to be very honest. Our issues are much, much bigger. So we need to really find like peculiar, we need to basically come and talk about these issues and try to find peculiar solutions to these issues. And also, moving forward, we are hoping to be getting like people to come on the podcast and also share their opinions about these issues and basically like try to propose solutions. So we hope we ourselves we have fun making this podcast for you, and we hope you will also have fun watching this podcast. Yeah, if I over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, our old people will disagree that our issues are bigger, but I guess that's an
Then
argument for another day.
come on, then come and be young and sleep.
Let's start life again. Anyway, well, let's see. But today, so for our first podcast, we've talked about so many things, and we've talked about many things we wanted to get started with. But I'd like you to introduce us to our podcast topic for today. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Why have we introduced this podcast? Why have we introduced ourselves? What's today's topic?
All right, so today we are going to be talking about content creation.
Yeah.
This topic is interesting because it's particularly interesting to me because I mean I've always been thinking about content creation, and I believe like many young people these days, like I've been thinking about content creation. Should I get into content creation or should I not? Right? I mean, these days most of what we do is just consume content online. Like there are like a lot of content, and so I'm sure like there are like a lot of people that have been thinking of getting into content creation. Me and Ifeanyi has also been thinking of it, and so this podcast is just like it's just like our way of doing that. So yeah, today we are going to be talking about that. Yeah. So if I ever to you.
Yeah. So now, obviously, with that, I personally I feel like this podcast is like 2 years late or 3 years late because I'm sure like since probably 2021 or 2020 we've started talking about like having a podcast, having a talk show or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
now on the topic of content creation, right? So what would you say is the we are starting content creation, right? This is our own way of starting to create content. What would you say is like the main reasons why we finally decided to start this podcast? Why did we finally decide? What do you think changed since 2021 or 2020 we started talking about it? What do you think changed? What made us start this content creation now?
Okay.
And in that sense,
So
we can now talk about like generally why people do content, like what are the good things, what are the reasons why people just do content, basically.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like in this day and age, the advantage of content creation is kind of like numerous, and it's becoming increasing day by day, right? It's becoming increasing by the day. Because first of all, just think of it. Whatever you are doing, whether you are an engineer or you're a lawyer or you're a business person or entrepreneur, content creation just kind of like helps you, like puts you out there, right? Just kind of, it's kind of like a personal branding thing, right? Because whether whatever type of content you decide to do, whether a podcast like this, you're doing short videos on IG or whatever, those are the things that people are consuming these days. To be honest, everybody is on their phone
Yeah.
just watching reels on IG. That's what everybody's doing. So like that is the market. So doing content creation is basically like taking your work, taking what you're selling to the market, right? Because you can do what you're selling and you put it in front of your house. There's only people that are passing that will buy it. But if you carry it and go to the market, and then a lot of people can see it and sell it. So that is like the first advantage for me. The first reason why I feel like people should get into content creation because it basically kinds of like puts you out there, helps boost your personal branding, right? And then you can also look at it like it's an opportunity to like share your knowledge. So personally for me, I feel like this is overdue for me because I feel like there are like a lot of knowledge. I mean, me and if I knowledge felt like there are like a lot of things we have to share, but we just don't have the voice. So this is just like an opportunity for us to like have our voice, speak our voice, get people to that don't have a voice to kind of like say their truth to so that is another thing. And then you can just look at it as like it's a way of having fun, right? Just come, have fun, do whatever you want to do. If you have some value to deliver, content creation is like a way of delivering that value. Yeah. So
There's
that
one,
so
there's
that's
one,
basically
there's one topic I'm waiting to. There's one I'm waiting to hear from you. You've not said.
I wish topic that
One reason, one of the other reasons you've not mentioned
which reason is that?
has to do with dollars and pounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, there's
yeah,
that part too. There's that part too. Because I mean doing content creation, being out there
yeah,
means that you can help people put their stuffs out there too. For example, if you're like a content creator and you have a page that has like a lot of following, millions of people are seeing your views. Like you can always leverage on that to make money. So
yeah,
basically, this can translate to like a lot of money. But one thing I think is that it's not like you start content creation today and then you're in Dubai on a yacht in Dubai tomorrow. Basically, right? I think it's harder than people think. Usually things are harder. Like when you get into it, that's when you start seeing how hard it is. So
yeah.
it's not as easy as that. So I think it will probably like take like persistence, consistency, and maybe initially, maybe this video we are doing safe will get only one, two likes, me and you, and maybe
Exactly.
you're paid.
The reality. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good.
Yeah, but eventually I believe that with consistency, um, we'll get there. Um, And yeah, so like if I mentioned earlier that we've been trying to start this since like almost like 2021. What do you think has been stopping us? Why do you think we are starting it now?
Yeah, what has been stopping us? First of all, I think we are very opinionated, two of us. So I feel like one of the things is we feel like because we have one of the reasons is we feel because we have a lot of opinions about other things other people do. In our head, we are thinking the kind of opinions people will have about us and what we do. So when we eventually start creating content, like how people will criticize us, because sometimes we criticize like a lot of content. Like obviously, it's not easy. No matter what kind of content you're creating, it's not easy to create it in the first place. So, but then as viewers, we just look at it and we're like, this guy just doing this guy just doing that. You get like,
I
we're
remember
always-
when Prince Jota started doing his content. I hated
yeah,
him so much. Like I was like, this guy. I mean, the first two episodes was funny. Like I better get out. You know, it started with the I better get out thing. The first
yeah.
episode was funny, but five episodes you're still saying I better get. I'm like, who is this guy? This guy will not do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So because we have all those kind of opinions, it's just kind of making us
Eh,
now feel like, oh, yeah. So but again, like you also have to appreciate that content creators eventually like they still put in a lot of work, they still try to be creative, and it's not as easy as it looks, right? Just like you said. I think that's one of the reasons. I think another reason is like we feel we're not social media types. Like we always think the social media types are the people that like post selfies on their status every day, post memes on their status every day, people that are always updating, where they are, where they went to. So we feel like I mean, we're not really that those kind of people because we don't really like post a lot. We don't really like keep our stories, Snapchats, things like that. We don't really do all that. So we are kind of feeling like, I'm not really a social media guy. So why would I start content creation? I feel like that's probably one of the things that stopped us. Also, not just being
So,
decisive.
so talking about the social media guy, so does it mean that you're a social media guy now? Yeah, like I've
Exactly.
changed to be a social media
I still don't think I am. But the funny thing is, okay, I say I'm not a social media guy, but again, I probably spend so outside of work, if I'm working or studying, outside of that, every other time that you meaning, I spend like 70% of it on social media, right? So if
guy.
I'm eating, I'm probably on social media, scrolling through something.
Mhm.
I'm probably watching a movie or something like I'm still doing something that is like content, like I'm still consuming some content of some form. So at the
Yeah.
end of
So
the day,
I feel like for the most part, 90% of the population are like basically consumers. Like
exactly,
are just like basically we are social media addicts these days. Everybody
exactly,
is social media
exactly.
addict, right?
Yeah,
So, so I mean the term I'm not a social media type is not correct. It's just like I'm not a producer, I'm just like a consumer.
yeah,
Right.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
just like the
Exactly. It's just if you're not farming, would you say you're not a food type? Because you still eat the food. I had to bring up an analogy. But yeah, so yeah. I think basically everyone is a social media type at the end of the day, or most people are social media types because you're either consuming or you're producing and consuming. But whatever the case may be, like you're most likely on social media a lot, no matter which one you prefer. It could be Twitter, it could be Instagram, whatever it is. And then we've probably not just been decisive about starting, you know, because when you start, starting is anything in life. To be honest, starting is like a big step. So most times people plan, but never start. Plan, but never start. So I think it's the same thing for us. We've planned, we've talked, but we've just never actually started. So that's why I'm happy. That's why I'm excited that we're recording today because this is like a first step for us. Hopefully not the last step because we could this imagine this is our last episode, first and last episode. I
Alpha and
hope
Omega.
I hope not. But yeah, this is like our first episode and I'm happy that we
Yeah.
finally
So
started. Yeah.
so about the social media type thing,
Yeah.
I mean, the way I think of it is, or at least what has changed in my mind, right, is that maybe traditionally you may not be the kind of person that is like very comfortable putting yourself out there, right? Because I think that is basically what it is for me. Like I'm not like too comfortable like putting myself like especially like sharing personal stuff about myself
Yeah.
out there or putting
Yeah.
myself in the spotlight always, right? So that is what has made me to say like I'm not like a social media guy. But so, but what the mindset shift that I've had over time is that you don't always have to do things you're comfortable with, right? If you want to keep doing things you're comfortable with, then you probably just not get anywhere. I mean, wake up. Most people wake up and go to their job every day. They don't even like their job, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's not even
Exactly.
like their job. It's not even like it's fetching them a lot of money like that. But
Mhm.
like, at least it's just enough to go to the bills. And because of that, they wake up and do it, even though they're not comfortable with it. They
Yeah.
rather be at home scrolling on social media. So basically, you don't have to be comfortable with something in order to start, right?
Yeah.
So somebody might be out there thinking, I'm not a social media person, I'm not really comfortable doing this social media thing. But you don't have to be comfortable with it. Just start as long as you think you have value to deliver. Just
Yeah.
start, and that is why we are starting.
I
And
agree.
hopefully,
I
we'll get
agree. I agree. I agree. I
that's it.
agree. And just on that, right? It's also like privacy. So another point is like privacy. So we are talking about like putting yourself out there. So I don't think we have too much of an issue putting ourselves out there like that. But maybe we have issue with how much it will affect our private life. So I still want to be able to do everything I do now normally. I still want to be able to. I don't want to be, or maybe I'm afraid of being famous because I don't want to be that guy that like is like I'm basically a target moving around. Like everybody knows about you, knows about your family, knows about your children or your knows about your girlfriend. They know who you are dating. They know where you go to. They know where you work. They know where you do this, what you do. So that kind of thinking is also like I don't want my life to be out there so much that people can critique everything about me. I want to be able to get up, go somewhere, do what I want to do, go back home, whatever, and do it on a low key, if that makes sense. I think these are
So
probably
I
things that stop
I
us.
think like a key point about that is like why doing the content creation thing, like knowing what you put out there, right? I mean, it's not as if we're starting this thing and then I'm going to start telling you about every single thing about my life. Like just trying to control the kind of things you put out there is
Mhm.
will probably do, right? But the
Yeah.
important thing is like make sure you're putting something out there,
Hmm.
control what you're putting out there. Like I feel like the worst part is where you are like saying, see, I'm not comfortable, so let me just relax, right? But controlling what you put out there and so just try to like manage your privacy, basically.
Yeah, because there are still a lot of people that are very popular, but yet their lives are very private, and you have to give them kudos because it's not easy to have that, right?
Like Johnny Drew.
Yeah,
Was it last year or last year? Johnny
that
Drew
we,
got married without anybody.
exactly. So it's like, wow, how come?
Nigeria, many girls have crush on. And before they
Exactly,
knew, bam,
he's
another
Nigerian
was
girl.
married.
He's married and nobody knows. So, Kai, that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, you can still control how much of your life can be private, in a way, yeah, and all that. So, yeah. So then, I think let's talk about something else. So we've talked about what stopped us. So, and we've also talked about a little bit about how good or the reasons why people start podcasts, but related to generally, right? Why do you, what would you say are the benefits? Since we talked about like the reason why we decided to start a podcast, and all that, can we also go deeper into just those reasons we talked about in terms of things that are the benefits? What we stand to gain, or what anyone will stand to gain in terms of a young person that wants to start creating content? We've talked about some of those things. We talked about personal branding. So what would you say personal branding is really? What is personal branding to you?
Mhm. So basically, personal branding, the way I see it in simple terms, is like when person hear your name, what did the person think about? Like person hear if I easy, what does the person think about? What does the
Yeah,
person think is about you? What are you about? What are you all
yeah.
about? Right? What do you to think and know about you?
Hmm.
That's what personal branding is all about. So and the way content creation helps that is because so by the time I start creating content, I start trying to deliver some value of some sort. Hopefully that value will be in correlation with what you want people to know about you. So you
Hmm.
might be a business person and you want to start doing content about your videos, sorry,
Yeah.
about your business. So I want
Okay.
to cite an example. An example is like Green Era, right? So recently Green Era started like doing like some social media stuff like this. I don't know
Yeah.
if you have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen
Started doing
it.
like content about their so they're into like solar stuff. So they started doing content about their, like their inverters and all those kinds of things. And it's
Yeah.
cool. And normally, someone would not go to Greener websites to go and start knowing what Greener is about. But somebody might be on IG swiping and they will see a Greener video,
Mm.
right? And
Yeah.
it's interesting. But then the person has learned about Greener. So
Yeah.
tomorrow, when the person hears Greener, the person will just remember, I saw laptop power bank, or I saw
Yeah.
solar, or
Yeah.
whatsoever. So you see how personal branding can really help. So it's not just like for individuals, it's like
Mhm.
for both individuals, businesses,
Yeah.
right? If you want to brand your business, don't underrate the impact of social media. The
Yeah.
impact of social media. Like the analogy I gave doing content creation is just like taking your goods to the market. You have produced your goods at home, you have to take it to the market,
Mhm.
right? Because everybody is on social media. Facts. So I mean not everybody. Most people are on social media scrolling all day.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
see, there's something I noticed about myself recently. Like, I can be on IG scrolling. Like, I'm just trying to talk about the effect of social media can have on our minds. I can be on IG scrolling, watching funny reels. Somebody will send me a message on WhatsApp. I will look at the message. I will just leave it. I'll say, I'll answer it later. Let me just watch the next reel, the next
Yeah.
reel, the next.
And then
And
you
that's
join
how
us.
I'll probably later in the evening, I'm like, yo, this person send me a message, or the person come and put question mark. And I'm like, yo, there's one person. So basically, everybody is like on social media, most people.
Yeah.
So if you can get in that space and do whatever you want to do, it must not be like you are like a business person and trying to show your goods. It can be like you're a personal person, and it could be even be like funny videos, right?
Yeah.
You're doing funny videos. As long as there's value for the
Yeah.
person that is watching it, making
Yeah.
people laugh and
Mhm.
need to laugh these days. So making people laugh, that's good enough. Get
Yeah.
into it. So we can see the benefit in that sense. Um, we can,
Anyway, I wanted to say
also like,
something. I wanted to say something
yeah,
because I just remembered. So even as you just said, it's just about like it's just like someone taking their goods to the market, right? There's also like the bridge between like business and personal branding, right? Where like people can have a business, but then add that personality to it. It kind of works a lot in terms of like bridging that gap. That's actually a woman. I don't know if you know her, but she's on Instagram. So she has a business. I think she sells clothes. I'm not 100% sure, but she sells something. But then after a while, she started now creating content. She creates all this content. I don't know if you've seen this content of like my fridge is shocking, and then she gave it as gift to her neighbor. Her neighbor was now knocking on her
it's
door.
not that one. I used to wear she used to wear suits, one big suit like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
I
it's
think I
not
know. I
suit.
think I know.
It's not suit. It's not suit. She doesn't wear suit, or maybe she does. I can't remember to be honest. But she basically started creating content about like her fridge shocking. She now made a content about how she bought it was a microwave on Lagos traffic, and then
Mm.
the day she put it on, it shocked her. She started just creating content about like basically buying stuff, and how it could go wrong. Basically, so she just made herself become this funny person. So now, if you go to her page, her business page, you see her business goods, but you also see like her content, and just that personality behind her content has made her page have so much following. People follow her just because of the content, and then obviously, if people are following you, liking your videos, there's more likelihood of your business actually going out there to get people to get involved and buy your stuff. So also that bridge is there. And by the way, just to put context, we talked about Green Era. Green Era is one of our friends' business. He started when was that? That was like 2017 or 2018 while we were still in school. But basically, they do solar panel stuff, solar panel installation, solar batteries, laptop chargers, and things like that. And that's why we are referring to that because they started creating content to like just sell their not they were not creating content just about this. We have this power bank. We have this. We have this. They're creating content that just looks funny, looks nice, looks interesting, and before you know it, it's bringing them followers, it's bringing people to get involved and try to just know about their business, and that's how you grow. So you wanted to
Yeah.
say something before I
I mean,
interrupted you.
I
So
mean, yeah. So I wanted to say like there are like a lot of like examples we can give of
yeah,
people that basically have skyrocketed even their career by
yeah,
putting them out there. Like for example, I'm a software developer, and in the field of tech, like there are like software developers that are putting themselves out there, or like are also content creators that are like there are popular ones that you, for example, sorry, for example, there are like females like Adora. Like a
yeah,
lot of if you're in tech, you probably know Adora, you know
yeah,
Chisum. And these are people
definitely.
that are doing content things and
Yeah.
they are blow. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know whether it's content that help them blow or they blow.
I think they're
Or
good
I
with
don't
their
know whether it's
skills, but if they were not putting it out there, nobody might know. You get.
yeah, because there are like also a lot of people that are very good with their skills. So maybe they are doing well. But like the kind of attention these people are getting, the kind of opportunities that they will be exposed to, right? It's probably like 10x the opportunity that someone that is good but is not putting himself out there, right? Because people know
Mm-hmm.
what you do and people can just when they think of see I want to do this, they can just like come straight to you. So like they're like a myriad of like examples we can give to people that
Yeah.
have basically used content creation to like boost their businesses, their
One
career,
example
their
I have
personal
in mind.
their, which
That's
example?
what I have in mind. Shank.
Which
I'll keep saying it. Shank.
Shan
Shank.
comics.
Shank comics. I'm really so happy for the guy whenever I see his content now, because like I literally remember seeing his content in 2020 in lockdown period, and this guy was staying in a room that you could see was like
I remember his bed was on the
and it was on
ground.
the
I remember
ground,
those days.
like, oh my god, like, but now, like, Shank is doing well. He's doing content in UK. He was on Madam Joyce
So,
podcast. I think I'm hearing that he might be on Beta Sport videos. So that's like so huge, because like that's from this is literally we started from the gutters. Now now we are here. This is a literal
his
like
room there was really compass.
because he was always there.
I literally remember his room. His bed was on the
Yeah.
ground. This with his phone close to the
Yeah.
window. I remember now. But now Sean is a big boy.
On the ground, mattress on the ground. But look at him now, and I'm happy for him because like he's been creating content since then, and look at where he's gotten to, and it's just something to be to look back on and say, yeah, that's something to be proud of for him, especially. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah, you're right.
So ultimately, government can
Obviously,
boost
yeah,
help boost every aspect financially
yeah,
too. I mean, that growth comes with financial growth. Like if you can just if you can basically increase your reach, you can increase the amount of value, then the financial part will just come naturally, right?
yeah,
So whether it's your business, that growth comes with financial. Listen, and personally too, I mean, you just give example of Shanks and how he's balling now. Before he was in like small room, now he's going to UK to shoot video.
yeah, exactly.
So basically, that can also translate to money.
Yeah,
Money.
exactly. Sure. I agree. I agree. And there was one statement he made before one time. He said, "Attention is the currency of the next economy," or something like that. I don't know if you still,
Exactly.
yeah, but basically, I
Yeah.
think anyone that has people's attention now,
Hmm.
there's really no limit to what you can do with that attention, because once people are listening to you, once people are willing to hear you. By the way,
Hmm.
you know, I don't know. I think you know Joe Rogan. He has a podcast. He's actually a big podcaster, probably the biggest podcaster in the world. I'm not 100% sure, but he's up there. So he has like a deal with Spotify. I think his podcasts. So his podcasts come exclusively on Spotify first before it goes any other
Hmm.
place. And he has a deal with them for millions of dollars. I'm talking like millions of dollars every year for his just for him to produce his podcast. He invites people. He's had the biggest people you can think of on his podcast. Like that's the kind of he's had Elon Musk. He's had anyone you can any big person you can think of. He's had them on his podcast, and he's been doing that for years now. And basically, he said when he
Hmm.
started podcast was not even that big a thing, because like then he was not doing it to make money, to be honest. So he was into like I think wrestling and comedy and stuff. He was like a commentator and stuff. And now he was just like, you know what, he likes talking, he likes listening to people, he likes having conversations with people. Let him start the podcast.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's once you have people's attention eventually, that's really no
Yeah.
limit.
Once you have people's attention, I mean, people want to pay you for for that attention, right? People want to pay you to see put my product, let me put my product out there,
Yeah.
right? Brands want to come and meet you and say, see, I'm going to sponsor this podcast. Just say that I'm the sponsor of this podcast or this content. I keep saying podcast because like that's what we are doing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, basically that is it. Once you have people's attention, people want to identify with you and they want to give you money basically to help you um showcase their products or whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's a hot take I have about this, but basically, so you talk about attention being a new currency, right? So there's this thing between attention and mastery, right?
Okay.
Before, like normally, mastery was like the most valuable thing. Like for
Yeah.
example, like you go to school and you are an electrical electronics engineer and you have a lot of experience that you have that mastery, right? And companies are going to be willing to pay you tens of thousands of naira for that mastery because they need you.
Yeah.
But the way we're going now, I feel like mastery is beginning to come down and then attention is beginning to go up
Yeah.
because now like those things that we get from mastery are we can get them from other places. For example, like with the trend of AI now, you understand? With the trend of AI now, even though of course AI is not there yet,
Yeah.
but you can see that AI is become going getting to a point where it's becoming more and more competent. And this means that it can basically provide that mastery, right?
True.
Starting that
True.
you go to school and learn for 5 years and you gain experience for so amount of years. AI, there can be an AI that can just do it.
Yeah.
Again, we are not there. It can be
Yeah.
an AI that can just do it. So you see how it's making that mastery not so valuable. It's still valuable in this economy. I'm just being very futuristic now.
Yeah.
But it's just like not so valuable again. And then attention, because everybody is online. And if everybody's looking at you online, then you have the attention. Attention
Exactly.
is just beginning to increase. So you
Yeah.
can see that trade off. Again, it's just a hot take. It's just what I think. I just feel like in the
Yeah.
next coming years, mastery will probably not be as valuable as it is now. It does not mean that people should not go to school, please. But basically, that's
Yeah.
what I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably the right time to start. I mean, the right time to start was always yesterday, but then today is the next best time.
Yeah. True. 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 So now we've talked about all the God good things and everything, right? What do you think
Mhm,
are the? Do you have any fears? We started our podcast now. This is our first episode. Do you have any
mhm.
fears, any reservations, anything that make you feel like how this could go wrong? Is there any way to go wrong?
How this could go wrong?
Yeah,
How this could go wrong? You doing your video and you have only one like. That is the biggest how this could go wrong because just imagine you do your video, you
yeah,
shoot your video, you edit your video, it looks good, you upload it on YouTube or IG. And on
yeah,
IG, you have only one. Even your friends don't like it.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
I feel like I feel like that is the biggest how this could go,
Yeah,
right? Even your friends don't like it. So I mean, there's that fear of you not getting the attention you're trying to get. Yeah. So, but then even at that, I feel like with consistency, you're going to
yeah.
get that attention. I feel like if you keep knocking, eventually the door is going to open, right? Because I know there are like some people that if you go to all these popular people, go to their page, like when they started, some people started from, and there's one guy I used to follow. The guy used to do all the software engineering stuff. When the guy, even up to now, you see his first videos have like only 5 likes. Even
Mhm.
now, like popular, his first videos have only 5 likes. And his
Yeah,
first videos were like rubbish, like he was in one rubbish place doing holding his phone like this, doing content, you understand? And he kept doing it like that, kept doing it like that, kept doing it like that. But eventually now he has like 18k, 18k likes and 1k comments, you understand? So with that, I feel like eventually if you just keep consistent, you and keep improving yourself because I feel like if there's value somewhere, people will just be attracted to that thing, right?
yeah.
But initially you're starting, you may not have much value, right?
Hmm.
But if you keep on it and keep improving yourself, you get that value and then it will just like attract people.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. That's one fear I definitely have. So please, if you are seeing this video, like it.
Yes, like it now. We are begging. I beg you, don't make us stop. Don't make us stop.
Yeah, secondly is like the privacy thing, right? I mean, you must be willing to like share some part of yourself, let go
Yeah.
of some part of yourself to do this. So there's also that, like you have to let go of some part of your privacy, but then you have to control your privacy too, like I said earlier. So I mean, it's not that trade off. So that is another thing. Another thing is like having time, especially like if you are doing something else,
Hmm.
right? Like if you have a 9 to 5 and you have to go to the office every day, every weekday, right? So like finding out time to like shoot the video, edit the video, all those kind of things is
Yeah.
like another thing that going forward. So basically, I just feel like I mean, if you are serious with it and you really want to do it, you find a way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I hope you
I mean,
find
those
it.
are the three reservations I have.
Yeah. Those are the same with me, right? Those are the things that are like fears in you. How people will receive it, how um and even some of the technicalities, right? So this is our first podcast, right? There are a lot of things we also want to improve on, sound quality, video
Mhm.
quality, things like that. We want to get them better down the line. Obviously, we felt like let's get started. We can keep improving as we go along the way. So that's also another fear. Like hope we can actually get these things improved to the level that we want it to be. That's something definitely want to work on. And honestly, I'm excited. We've taken the first step. This episode has actually been longer than we thought it would be. I remember Jeremiah was like, "Yeah, this our episode not going to reach 7 minutes, so it's not going to reach 7 minutes." Because what you want to talk. But you see now we've lasted for so long. So and yeah, I'm hoping we can continue honestly, and I'm looking forward to it. In fact, we are definitely continuing. We are definitely having another episode very soon. So I think we can summarize here because we've actually had a nice conversation about content creation, and I've actually enjoyed it. It's been
Mhm.
relaxing. I've had fun. I've had fun, and I hope everyone that listens to this has had fun. I hope you've had fun too. Anyway, but
Mhm.
this is these are so in summary, what's your takeaway from this our discussion so far about content creation? What's
Yeah. So about content creation, in summary, I just feel like there are like a lot of people there that have their reservations about content creation. But if you look at the benefits and what it can do for you as an individual or your business, then and you can see that, and if you can see that it can even be more beneficial than other things you are doing now that you are doing because you have to or you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right? You will know that this one, even if you're not comfortable with, you should probably do it. Right?
Yeah.
So I think the benefits outweighs the disadvantages. So if you're out there and you have like your reservations, then you should probably just like wait again and you probably see that it's worth it, right? Um, so I mean, this is just my advice to I'm calling out to people, business people, individuals, like get into the content creation, get out of the loop of like always consuming and only consuming, right? And see if you can produce, right? I mean, even if it's like so I don't want to talk about types of content, but basically just get into that, just get into the space. I feel like there's like a lot of untapped potential in that space. And another thing I want to talk, I think, is that like I mean people do content in Nigeria. Like if you go to TikTok, you see like a lot of Nigerian content, like but we are seeing like little of content that are actually I don't want to say actually valuable, right? Because it's not like those ones are not valuable, but like are there people that are talking about, for example, if you're into tech? Sorry, I'm always biased about tech because I'm tech. If you're into tech, are there a
So
lot of people that are talking about tech?
yeah.
Are there a lot of people that are talking about tech or business development, or are there a lot of people that are talking about careers, or, for example, like the struggles that young people are facing? Like these struggles are real. Are there contents in those fields, right? So if you look at all these kind of things, you will see that like especially in Nigeria, like there's like a big space, right? There's like a big space. So I feel like it's an opportunity that people can like leverage on. And also businesses too. I cannot overemphasize this. It's
Yeah.
like you can always leverage content creation to boost your growth, boost the brand of your business, just get your business out there. Right. So that is the summary for me. If you have been thinking about it,
Yeah.
just like we have been thinking about it for like 2 years now, and we're finally doing it. So yeah, you should finally do it too.
Yeah, hopefully we continue again. That's
No, we
very
will. I will drag you. Like this is going to be like our accountability. Because we've done this first time, we're saying we are doing another one. So we
yeah,
hold ourselves accountable.
yeah. Also,
Hopefully,
I'm
that
just
this is the way-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then I'm also like, okay, so another takeaway for me is like, if there's something you like to watch, you like to see, you like to talk about, you like to read about, then also think about doing it too. You know, it's just like, you know how we like to watch football, we like to see Messi play, we like to do these kind of things. It made us think about going to the field to actually play, right? Maybe you don't pursue it as a career, maybe you don't even make money from it, but if you actually enjoy talking about something, like I enjoy talking to people about what they have in mind about like things happening around them, like things that they're involved in. I like talking to business people, know what they want to do, what their business is about. Personally, that's something I like to do, and that's one reason why we are starting this, right? Because like this is something we like to do. We like to talk to people about like things that are facing them, things that the challenges they're trying to, what they're trying, the good they're trying to do, whatever it is, right? And if you enjoy doing that, if you enjoy seeing other people that do that, enjoy consuming those kind of content where like people are talking to other people, people are like getting ideas, getting opinions, trying to navigate life, just being open and sincere about it. It doesn't have to be. And again, like we said, I mean, as much as we are talking about creating content, I'm also against the cloud culture. Just creating content just for cloud, like just because it's the trending topic you want to get involved. Like talk about something you actually enjoy doing. You actually enjoy talking about. You actually enjoy doing. Create content you just enjoy. Just have fun doing it. Don't. I feel like that's very important because at the end of the day, if the money comes, it doesn't come. You've had fun doing it, and for me, I've had fun doing this, and I'm hoping to have fun in our next episodes. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in our next episode. We'll have something interesting again to talk about. But
Yeah,
generally,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Have something interesting to talk about on every episode. Um, yeah. So just to reiterate, this podcast is like for young people. We're going to be talking about like struggles of young people in society, and usually these struggles are interesting. So it's going to be fun all the way.
yeah.
So we're glad that you can watch this podcast. We are glad that you are here with us, and we hope to see you like on our next episodes. Remember, subscribe, like, follow.
Yeah, thank you very much. See
All
you guys
right.
in the next episode. Thank
All
you
right.
and
Thank you.
bye.